This is mostly for, I think it's called the Almeida Initiative, and this is a bit of an expose of my little brother Aybars. I'm his older brother, Belita. Yes, I know he looks much older than me. I think a lot of it is because he doesn't lead the right life, and aside from physical things he does to damage his health, he's done a lot of spiritual things to damage his health. I mean, he was, after all, kind of a semi-Satanist, and he dabbled in, he had a lot of dreams where he dreamed and fantasized about sacrificing human beings to the devil in exchange for being like some kind of rock star. But anyway, I think you guys are some sort of ostensibly Christian organization. Aybars was an ostensible, alleged assistant rabbi at an alleged synagogue-type place, but I believe that is bearing false witness. That is dishonesty, because the term rabbi is used among the Jewish faith, among the Jewish people. And the Jews do not believe that Jesus Christ is God, the Son of God, or the Messiah. The Jews believe, as the Muslims, that God has no son. There is no Father, Son, Holy Spirit, or saints you pray to, or God's mother you pray to. They just believe in a type of a monotheism. That's what they call the Abrahamic religions. Christianity believes in a Trinity, and they believe that Jesus fulfills the role of the Jewish Messiah and also of the Godhead, an embodiment of God. So, very different, and the rabbis do not encourage that type of religion, that type of thinking about God. Now, mind you, they may be very conciliatory towards Christians and vice versa, but that doesn't mean they share doctrine, right? So right away, Aybars using the term rabbi is incredibly problematic because it is a bearing of false witness. That's one of the commandments that Christians, Muslims, and Jews believe in, right? So that's that. Other examples of bearing of false witness. He claims that he was a Muslim. Aybars was never a Muslim. He's never been inside of a mosque, to my knowledge. All right? I've never seen him do anything resembling a Muslim prayer, kneeling on the ground, prostrating, bowing, standing, bowing, kneeling, head to the ground. I've never heard him say La ilaha illallah and Muhammadan Rasulullah, the Shahada, the proclamation of faith. The religious education that he got that stuck with him at a very early age, around 10 or something, was Catholicism. We went to Catholic school, and he participated in Mass, he participated in communion, and he would go up there and recite things into the microphone when we had Friday Masses in Catholic school. I never participated in communion, but he was sincere about it. I think he sincerely believed all of it. He was a Catholic. He's never been a Muslim. He's never shown evidence of it, yet he kind of claims that he used to be a Muslim, I think for propaganda purposes. So there's something fishy about that. I think he's bearing false witness. He claimed that he was poor. We were poor. I mean, there was a point when we were poor, but for most of the time of his childhood, he had every toy he ever asked for. He got to go on trips, vacations. At one point, we got to go to a private school in Princeton, New Jersey, St. Paul's Catholic School in Princeton, New Jersey. He wore a suit and tie to school, had leather shoes and a blazer and a belt buckle and pants and a plaid tie. You understand me? He didn't grow up poor. He tries to make it seem like he went through some serious privations. He had Star Wars toys, and he got to see movies, Wrath of Khan, Jackie Chan movies in the theaters when they first came out. He hung out with socialites in Princeton. We had a dual income household, and by the time I was in high school, he was still in grade school. Our grandmother had died. My mom received property overseas, which became a rental property, right? There's something fishy about that. He's bearing false witness about that. Now, he's claiming to have, family values and all these things. Let's talk a little bit about his practice of family values, right? When my dad had his first stroke, he would hang out with his Messianic people, his pseudo-Jews, all night and all day long. He'd come home and dump his laundry off for mom to do, eat some food, and, catch a nap and then go again. Like, he did nothing to help. Nothing. Okay? It kind of maddens me when he says that. And then there's the matter of my father's death in 2009. In 2009, I had just graduated acupuncture college, and by the way, even as his third semester student in acupuncture school, I began treating my dad and reversing some of his paralysis and aphasia and stuff like that, even though I was barely trained. Okay, I was before it happened. I was in a PhD program at Rutgers, studying communication science, doing original research. I stopped that to go home and help my mom take care of my dad. And when I had an opportunity to go back to school, I said I'm going to study acupuncture, because things like oriental medicine and massage and acupressure were the only thing helping my dad, right? So I abandoned my passion, my career field, my future, and started a whole new path to help my dad. I wasn't in acupuncture college to gratify myself. Okay, there was the only thing helping. And believe me, we were desperate. It was very difficult taking care of my dad, and me and mom were arguing all the time, and Aybars was giving zero help. Zero, absolutely zero help. Not even moral support, okay? So when Dad died, I had just finished acupuncture college, and I was working and managing a martial arts school. The economy collapsed in 2008, 2009, right? And I lost everything. I became homeless. I had moved on to someone's couch, one of my jiu-jitsu instructors. I was living in his couch in Chester, Pennsylvania. And on my 40th birthday, I had to move into his couch after having lost everything and being evicted from an apartment and having that business close on me. And the very next day, I got an email saying Dad had died. I got this from Aybars. I immediately shot off emails to Mom in Turkey, and I received no replies. And the reason why I received no replies is because Aybars' Messianic church organization was screening all communications with my mom. I was not allowed, with Aybars' knowledge and possible direction, to directly communicate with my mom after my father had just died. Right? Then Aybars, the very next day, sends me some type of PDF of some type of form in Turkish. He said, print this out, sign it, attach a photograph, and meet me in New Jersey. We're going to go to the Turkish consulate in New Jersey. You're going to hand this in. What is it? I replied, what is it? Now, mind you, that's his first message. He says, it wasn't, Dad died. Hey, it's been tough. My condolences. Are you okay? What do we need to do? Here's what we need to do to help Mom. None of that. It was like, sign this form. Again, Mr. Family Values, Mr. Holy Man that he claims to be. I think in one of your websites he's going by the name of Lord. We've never been royalty. Neither the Turkish nor the Afghan people have had any form of royalty in our lifetimes. And I don't even think in the lifetime of our parents. Okay, that's some kind of nonsense. Lord Aybars. Our middle name is Han, but that actually isn't a royal title. It's actually a title people give to literate scholars, and it may be something Dad invented when he had to register in Turkey, because that may not actually be a thing. All right, but anyway, getting back to the day after I found out my dad had died, the day after my 40th birthday, around 2009. Finally, I said, "Can you tell me what this is?" He goes, "It's a power of attorney. You're going to sign over, your basically," he said, you must sign over your rights to your inheritance to Mom." And I had just lost everything, right? And I said, well, I didn't even reply no right away. I said, first of all, before a couple of years before, I had actually filled out some kind of power of attorney so I could get an ID card at the Turkish embassy, because I had dual citizenship, right? And I said, they already have a power of attorney. Well, this is different, You're going to turn over all of your property rights and rights of inheritance to Mom. And I said, well, send me a copy of the will, notarized, and send me an English translation of the will, notarized. And he's like, well, I'm not doing that. And I said, well, I'm not getting on that train. I don't know if you've noticed, the economy has just collapsed. This business I was managing went out of business. My partner screwed me on the pay they owed me, and Dad just died, right? I need to know what you want me to sign away. And he stopped communicating with me. And I sent an email to Mom, which didn't get replied. I sent an email to Aybars, which didn't get a reply. And I was homeless. And nobody did anything. Nobody from my family communicated with me. And it also turns out I have an older brother, two older brothers. The oldest brother and his wife were in the loop, but I have another older brother who's a little younger. He's not the oldest, but he's older than me. Him and his wife weren't even told about anything like that, right? They were just told he died, and they were doing well financially. They were doing great. They didn't know about what was being told to me. And what happened was I had to spend about a year living at my jiu-jitsu instructor's basement in Chester, Pennsylvania, in basically the ghetto, with zero help, not even moral help, not even, hey, I'm sorry I was harsh with you, hey, Dad is gone, and I thought I'd reach, nothing. And then I got a chance to move back to my hometown and stay with my best friend from high school and his wife. And around that time, one of the lawyers from the Messianics contacted me, and I said, I repeated my demands. I'm like, look, I need to know what you guys want me to sign away, right? And then my mom eventually emailed me, and she said in the email, hey, I want to help you, and we will help you. And I said, okay, Mom, so just send me a copy of the will in Turkish, notarized, and a copy in English, notarized. And then she got mad and stopped talking to me. And then I got another message from the lawyer, and I told him to go screw himself. And it turns out the individual, because I, did an internet search, wasn't even a lawyer. He'd never been a bar certified lawyer. He went to law school and never practiced, never passed the bar exam. And he wouldn't even tell me if he belonged to the Messianic church and religion that Aybars did. And I had to kind of ask him questions and get the information out of him, right? Again, this is Aybars' family values. Now, I'm going to give you some context and some backstory. In Turkey, the country of Turkey, that's its official name, the law is that when someone dies, all properties are divided equally amongst all survivors. And what that means is, my mom, my 3 brothers, and me have equal shares in all properties, in all joint accounts. There was a rental property. Not only did I have an equal share in that, but 1/5 of all rents generated since 2009. All of that is my due share by law, by Turkish law. All right? And I was not told that. They could have simply told me that, because let me backtrack. When I first communicated with Aybars, and subsequent times when I communicated with him and my mom and the alleged lawyer who wasn't a lawyer, I said, can you simply show me a copy of the will? And if they would have said there is no will because that doesn't actually exist in Turkey, the country that people here call Turkey, the law immediately divides it up according to an algorithm. That would have been very enlightening. Nobody told me. They bore false witness, right? So he's been claiming to be a holy man, a religious man, and a man teaching family values. And these are his family values. I'm his brother. I'm his blood. And whether I share his religion or any religion or not, according to the laws of the Torah and the Bible, he has an obligation to me, right? He has an obligation to his family. He has an obligation to obey the law. By the way, he is the chief executor of the will. He's the one that has control over the finances, right? Now, recently, a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit over, I started making social media posts about this, and then they felt forced to talk to me, and then my middle brother, the one older than me but not the oldest, was able to reach out with me, and he was able to fill me in on what was going on, and he helped. They gave me a small pittance of money. They gave me a few small pittances of money over the past 2 years, right? And the only reason why they're doing this is because Aybars and his lawyer and maybe my oldest brother, they want to sell some properties overseas, and they're going to need my signature. Well, I'm surprised they didn't find a way to forge it or fake it. And they want me to consent, and I'm not consenting to anything. And also, I've asked about the rental properties through my older brother, and no one's talking. And the truth of the matter is, according to Turkish law, not only am I owed a portion of those earnings, they owe me back pay since 2009. And they still refuse to show me any listing of assets, right? And Aybars is the guy who's in charge of, the account, because Dad had IRAs and various, maybe even a couple of accounts designed to, take care of his kids. And basically, Aybars is greedy. His only God is money, right? And you want him to reach out, become an outreach to the Turkic world, the Islamic world. I doubt he talks much Turkish or knows much about any of the cultures. He calls his dad an Afghan. His dad is an Uzbek. The Uzbeks do not think of themselves as Afghans, right? And on top of that, guys, are you going to do what he did with the Jewish people? Are you going to send your missionaries there pretending to be Muslims and acting and dressing and talking Muslim and talking like they're Muslims, but not actually believing in them, and then kind of doing a bait and switch and saying, by the way, we actually, believe in the Trinity and we believe in Jesus, and is that what you guys are going to do? Because then Aybars is perfect for the job. If you're going to be dishonest and you're going to bear false witness, then Aybars is perfect for the job. But if you have an ounce of integrity, just as his brother, this is my opinion of what's going on. And he still hasn't apologized for any of the things he's done to me. I had to move out of state. I was homeless for a few years. I've had to scramble. I've been through some tough stuff, right? There were times when I had to beg people to let me in, beg people to let me eat. I slept on floors and couches for the better part of 5 years before I got back on my feet. And I don't know. Is that what you guys are about? Because that's what he's about, right? But I'm getting tired of now he claims to be a lord. I saw that in your description on one of your videos. God, if that's really what you guys are about, you make me sick, right? You seem to believe that you're exempt from every rule, every law, every moral code, and that those who you have transgressed against and harmed, you don't even believe in an apology or an actual atonement, right? And you're still not giving me my due that was due to me by law, by laws both man-made and by laws that your religion that you allegedly follows. But I'm in a position where I could make a video about this every day or 2 or 3 times a day. I'm going to be watching you guys to see what you guys are all about. Because from what I can tell, you're all about bearing false witness and coveting what belongs to thy neighbor and thy brother, and not doing unto others as you would have done unto yourself. Coveting thy neighbor's goods and thy neighbor's ass and perhaps thy neighbor's wife. I mean, how can I trust you or Aybars or anybody who hires them in anything when you are so far off in what you claim to be central doctrines of yourself that you often want to force upon other people and, force upon our government and force upon people who are not members of your religion but actually free citizens of this country of ours. You are not good people. You are not a good thing. You are bearers of false witness. You are coveters of others' goods. You are thieves. And in essence, you are cowards. Aybars should fit in well with you.